The Texans went out there, and in a game played on Eastern Coast at midnight, they go out there and lose the game to the Seahawks 27-19, and CJ Stroud was atrocious, and right now he is destroying the Houston Texans' entire season. Yeah, I just got to be honest. CJ Stroud was terrible. He was some dog shit, man. He was bad. Really, really bad throughout the entire game against the Seahawks. And it sucks because you wondered if against the Titans and against the Ravens he had figured something out. Although I was very pessimistic. I'm thinking, I don't know, man. Those two teams are very bad, and they have a combined 2 wins, as many as the Texans have because they played both of them. But you just thinking this team hasn't beaten anyone good. CJ Stroud's looked bad, and this game, he was atrocious. He was getting actually bailed from having a much worse game, and the Texans were bailed from not being down by 30. I just got to be completely honest. CJ Stroud early in the game, one of the first 2 possessions, and it was before I even got to watch it because I'm watching Bucs Lions. Dude's running backwards. Watching it again, he's running backwards away from Murphy, I believe, a secondary player, gets sacked. And luckily, McDonald, the Seahawks coach, furious because it counted like a safety. It was like, whoa, like really close to being a safety. And it's like, what is this guy trying? He himself has said he's getting slower. What was he trying to do? Clearly the answer was run for his life. But just throw the ball away, dude. Running back to the end zone, not great. Now, that was just one play. The one to me that was like, all right. And it won't get remembered. It's 14-0. Everything is going bad, by the way. Offense not moving. He's not moving. Seahawks offense is cooking. But you still have the number 1 defense in the league. So it's like, maybe they're going to fight at some point, but this is the exact game the Texans didn't want to be in. Stroud, again, starts running backward. He's under pressure, and he does the infamous, I'm going to turn, and he throws the ball backwards. Throws it backwards. It gets bobbled. He's just lucky. I didn't look up this guy's name yet. I'll know it before the Seahawks one. But 42 is right there with a chance to just fall on the ball at the worst case. He falls on the ball. It's at the 1-yard line. Worst case. Probably still scores. For some reason, he's trying to, what they always tell you not to do, pick it up and scoop a flying football with the whole world running after you. He doesn't get it. The Texans end up recovering it. I'm thinking that's a safety. But according to the rule, because he touched it in bounds, right, it ends up being a touchback for the Texans. They actually get 3 more downs to not do anything. But it ends up being a touchback. They don't lose any points off of that. But just that decision alone was ridiculous. And somehow, we'll get to it. The defense kept fighting, but I'm not done with CJ Stroud yet. 23 for 49? Awful. Terrible. We're going to get to Nick Colley too. But this offense, just really bad. Then he also threw a pick. Not what you want to do, CJ. And the pick was bad. It's 14-6. They somehow have climbed kind of sort of back in this game. The defense is fighting their ass off. He's not doing much, but he's doing enough apparently not to lose. He runs up into the pocket, throws it on the run while he's getting hit, and it's just a terrible pick. And you're just like, bro, what are you doing? And right now, with the juxtaposition, it's like him and Bryce Young have just completely traded places. Now, he doesn't have the O-line. Bryce Young does, and all of a sudden, I thought Bryce Young was better coming out of college. Obviously, at the first 2 years, I thought C.J. Stroud was better. C.J. Stroud has won playoff games. Up to this point, I'm still saying C.J. Stroud is a better player. But he is He's not single-handed. We're going to get to some other components here. It's not all C.J. Stroud. But you're the franchise quarterback. This is a mess. And it was just not good. There were just times they got the ball 27-12, couldn't really score. Luckily, Seattle just kept giving them the ball back. I think Seattle's like half asleep at the end of this game like me, as I'm just watching like, what are they doing? Why don't they just run the ball and punt? Like, the Texans literally can't move the ball. So they end up eventually getting a touchdown. But one of the touchdowns, the 19 points, one of the touchdowns, the Texans didn't even, the offense didn't get it. They really scored 12 points. It's embarrassing. Nick Colley, that game plan was ridiculous. Now, it's not as ridiculous as I thought when I was first watching it, but CJ Stroud threw the ball 50 times. They ran the ball 15 times against a pass rush that is third in the league in sacks, with DeMarcus Lawrence, with Leonard Williams screaming, and the blitz pressure of McDonald. So that was just a ridiculous game plan. Now, Seahawks defense is, I think, 5th in points. It's another top-end defense. I thought it was going to be a real defensive game. Kind of wasn't, but it could have been. And, well, it kind of was, actually. The Texans defense was fighting so hard. But, and we know the Houston the Houston offensive line, trash. Stroud has been screamed at all season, not good. And the running game didn't really work when they tried it. All right, cool. You got to run the ball more. And the thing that bothers me, right? So they ran it 15 times. But when they chose to run it, 3rd and 1, they run up the middle. 4th and 1, they're going for it, running it up the middle. I think it's the 5th early in the game. Like, what? That can't be the call. And it's just like every move he's making right now is weird or bad. Now, Nico Collins got hurt around the 3rd quarter of this game, so obviously used that weapon, but they weren't letting him get open. And I just, like, the offense started out bad, kept getting worse. They started with 3 straight punts. Luckily, a couple of them weren't turnovers or safeties, really. The offense had no juice, and Colley obviously is part of the blame. In this offense, the Houston Texans offense has been one of the worst offenses in the league. They had that little game against the Ravens where they scored 44, which, my God, I mean, we know how bad the Ravens defense is now after that. But it's just like they've had nothing. They don't do anything super creative. They keep trying to just force feed it to Nico Collins. There's not a lot of motioning. The run games isn't working. And, I mean, it's hard to do things without an offensive line, I understand. But coming out, just slinging the ball, it was absolute nonsense with how good Seattle's D-line is, that it's Mike McDonald. And to be fair, if you just looking at the numbers, yes, Seattle is 24th in the league in pass defense, but that was partially they had a game with, like, against, I don't know, Baker Mayfield with all of his weapons lighting him up. I think that took down a lot. So that was the case, and the Texans' offense is just completely broken right now, and I just don't know if there's any fixing it. And the real crime is that they're wasting this defense. Will Anderson and this defense, Stingley, Lassiter, they were trying so hard to save the game. Will Anderson strip sack in the end zone of Sam Darnold, which led to a touchdown, was amazing. He just made the whole play, kept fighting, stripped. It was just a crazy play for him to make, down 21-6, and now you're like, oh my! Suddenly the game is you kind of have life. They got blocked field goal. They forced another fumble running out there. That was Lassiter forced the fumble. Stingley got the pick on the trick play they tried to Cooper Kupp. Now that play call was ridiculous, but the defense was making plays now, and they are still the number 1 defense in the league. They say we're heading in. They were 7th in stopping the run, 4th in stopping 5th in stopping the pass. Elite, really at all levels. But I think obviously what cooked them, I mean, JSN, I don't know. He's the best receiver in the league, though. He leads the league in yards by like 200 yards. That's crazy. It's week 7. It's only week 7. How does he lead by 200? He's cooking everybody. He is. He's a dog. And Darnold, some of those throws, they were risky, and you got picks off of one of them. But some of them, I mean, he's just throwing perfect passes before the dude comes out of his break, and you're like, all right, well, what are you supposed to do about that? And JSN is always open. But the defense, like, it's just getting wasted. All those turnovers. They have 4 turnovers. 4. To what ended up being 1. Now, the Texans tried to have more, but ended up being 1. And really, the game wasn't. They scored a touchdown. They kind of sort of could have made it close, but it wasn't close. And add on, by the way, the special it's back-to-back weeks now with the same Monday night game where they've seen the same thing. But 2:04 left. Kick it out of bounds, dude. You cannot let up the 2-minute warning in that situation. That is your extra timeout. You only had 1. And the Seahawks couldn't move the ball. But when you do that, that ends up giving you, obviously, the opportunity to go out there. You couldn't get that stop. And so, I mean, they didn't have the time. And that is what ended up cooking them. But they weren't going to score anyway, let's be honest. For the Texans now, man, 2-5. Yikes. Even though the Jags, they look like they're kind of falling apart, you got to win some games. And you've lost to the Jags. And coming up, I'm almost there with them. I've said it about a couple 2-5 teams. The problem is the Colts, too. The Colts are 6-1. Who are they going to be better than? Patriots, Bills, those are both playoff teams. AFC North team, that's 1. Colts are 1. That's already 4. AFC West, champ. Boom. And then, let's just say the Chiefs win the AFC West. Broncos, 5-2. Chargers, 4-3. Like, I just don't see it. Oh, they're 2-4. They're not 2-5. My apologies. They're 2-4. I'm saying 2-5 this whole time. 2-4 feels like 2-5. But this is the problem. Because you have the first place schedule. Here's who you get. And you got the Colts, who just look like the best team in the league. 49ers. At home. Broncos. They're not better than those 2 teams. Jags. Oh my God. Should beat them at home, I think. Would I pick them? I don't know. They can't score. Neither can the Jags, though. Titans, got to win that one. Then, that's not even the gauntlet. 49ers, Broncos are 2 really good teams. Jags are a good team. This is your gauntlet. Bills, Colts, Chiefs. You're kind of chalked. It's getting close. It's getting ugly, especially because you can't score. And C.J. Stroud looks like a shell of himself. It is a unfortunate, beginning to look really ugly situation for the Texans. And I thought this because I thought, if they could just maintain, I thought that would have been disappointing. But when you end up firing the guy, Nick Colley, you know what I mean, is your new offense coordinator, and he's not doing so hot. It's looking like a mess. I don't know what they change. I think they gotta fire Nick Colley at this point. Colley, whatever the fuck it was. But yeah, I mean, this offensive line, the second you trade Tunsil for that 2nd-round pick, it just spelled doom to me. Because they weren't great blocking before. And obviously, Will Fuller, him being out sucks. But you lost Diggs. You didn't add any weapons. Now you have no weapons and no O-line. I don't know what they expected C.J. Stroud to do, but he's not fast enough to make all this work. And no running game. I mean, Joe Mixon has been out, but just bad offseason planning from the Texans is just coming back to bite them. And we'll see if they can do anything now at 2-4, try to bounce back. But the problem is, like I said, is not last year's AFC South. The Colts are here. They have arrived, and the Jags are at decent right now. And they already beat you. So it's going to be tough for the Texans to try to get out of this and make the playoffs, in my humble opinion. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please watch some of the other videos on the site. I've created a playlist with each and every football team, and every week we will be going over those games. I'm really loving this, enjoying it, and hoping you guys are as well. Of course, like, subscribe. And if anyone wants to sponsor, we're looking for Lumia Sports Productions is looking for sponsors. Shout us out. We will shout you out during the video. Thank you guys again for watching. Have a great day. Enjoy.